Hello and welcome to Now Spinning Magazine, and on this episode we're looking at Horslips at the BBC. So this is a look at Horslips at the BBC, a 5-disc set, 4 CDs and a DVD. So before we go any further, let's have a look inside the box. This is a look inside Horslips at the BBC. It's in the same kind of design that we've got used to seeing from Jethro Tull. It's one of my favourite designs where the box set itself looks like a hardback book because it's easy to store and it's an easy way to get a really thorough book together and also to contain multiple discs. So let's have a look through it. So we've got a picture of the BBC, vintage picture with the picture of the band above, and on the back we've got all the track listings, which I'll go through now. As we open it up, I've put the hype sticker here. So a 4 CD DVD set of every Horslips BBC recording that remains from 1973 to 1979 and from their 2010 to 2019 reunion period, all lovingly restored and remastered, and an 84-page hardback book with fresh input from the band, including new essays, interviews, rare pictures and memorabilia. So CD 1 is here, CD 2 is on the first page, and then we're into the book. The unique set is dedicated to the late and very great friend and colleague Johnny Feen. So the track listing is here, so you can see that. So it's 1973-74, BBC One in concert, Ulster Orchestra recordings, sounds of the 70s, CD 2, 79 to 2010, BBC One in concert, collaborations, CD 3, 2011, Horslips and the Ulster Orchestra, 2011, CD 4, bonus disc, short stories, tall tales, working mixes from 1979, DVD is the final disc, Ulster Whistle Test, BBC 2, more whistle test, collaborations, the Ulster Orchestra, and a bonus feature, 50 years of Horslips as well. So we've got the content you'd expect with a book. BBC Policy and Horslips, forward by Jeff Griffin, which is really cool, and it's a great stuff. All the memorabilia, radio time stuff there, lots of pictures. It reminds me a bit of the Tull sets in many ways, and I absolutely love this. Now, a message from our curator. This is important for those of you who bought the 2022 35 disc, which I have. More than you can chew, might have thought the well of Horslips recording was now dry. Not so. The label, Matthew, should always plan to do a separate one for the BBC. So this is in addition to that set. It's not because they forgot to do it. They always wanted to keep the BBC stuff outside of that. This also contains a bonus disc, and here's why. The proud owners of More Than You Can Chew, of which I am one, will be aware that one of the discs, Tracks from the Vaults Volume 2, included alternative mixes of 3 songs from the 1979 album Short Stories and Tall Tales, 2 from the master reel, 1 from a cassette. Horslips studio outtakes from 1970s are all but non-existent, so it was a thrill to find those. Very late in the day, however, a cassette of working mixes of every track from the album turned up, and thanks to Horslips crewman Steve Idale, they managed to put those tracks in this set. Okay, so On Air goes through all the stories behind all the BBC tracks, lots of vintage pictures, magazine front covers, clips, BBC transcription service, photographs of albums, press ads, shots from the TV, lots to read, really well put together. I think Horslips have been well served by this set, and of course the big one from Madfish as well. Everyone should have that. It's still available. So lots of stuff in here. Obviously lots of stuff about the Paris Theatre, which were a lot of bands recorded there, live concerts. So this is great. So I'm just having a quick run through here so you can have a look to see what you get if you decide to go for this set, which if you're a Horslips fan is highly recommended, very much so. Ralph McLean, Radio Ulster presenter, explains why it was important for the BBC to mark the 50th anniversary of Horslips. Some great stuff in there. And as we come to the end, we've got the whole thing about the short stories, tall tales, working mixes, the bonus disc, again, which makes this set very worthwhile, and a tribute to John Martin Finn, 1951 to 2023. Fine guitarist, and then all the credits for this set. Lovely picture of the guys there, arms around each other at the end of a concert. Facsimile of their autographs, and then the last but one disc, and the CD4 and DVD are in the back of the set. So that is Horslips at the BBC. So that's a look inside Horslips at the BBC. 4 CDs and a fantastic DVD as well. So what are my thoughts? Who's this aimed at? Well, it's obviously, if you're a big Horslips fan, and I know many of you are, you've already got it, haven't you? It's about 50 odd quid, and I think for that, it's coming into the kind of price range that Jethro Tull Deluxe sets are. It's the same design as one of those, and I think it's wonderful. If you bought More Than You Can Chew by Madfish, this giant 33 CD box set, which I've also reviewed, then you're going to want this as a bolt-on thing, really. And as I showed you in the unboxing, it was always the intention that the BBC stuff would be done separately. And the fact that while researching this, they then went and found CD number 4, which is short stories and tall tales, working titles, and put that in as well, makes this even more valuable to a Horslips fan. For the purpose of reviewing this, the first place I went to, and I do this a lot with these kind of sets, is I went for the DVD. Because it's the DVD in many of these sets, I'm thinking of Jack Bruce, Man, for instance, where you get a sense of the kind of social history behind what was going on. And I find it fascinating that these are the kind of documentaries or clips that, yeah, you might be able to find some of them on YouTube. But here they are tidied up and they're all in one place. And so to see the band on the Ogre Whistle Test from 1974 was amazing. They're doing Faster Than the Hound, and then later on, 2 months later, Maeve's Court, Don't Do 'Em Again, plus a documentary of 1974. And I found that documentary incredibly interesting, watching the band in their, in Ireland and what was going on around them, and their enthusiasm and passion for the Celtic heritage of the land that they grew up in, really. And that's what the kind of the visuals really brought home to me. And then they've got Anne Nightingale doing her A Man Who Built America promo video, and that's from 1979. And then you've got stuff that's actually from Ireland in 2010. And then, of course, the orchestral section, which is 2 of those. And then the bonus feature, which is the special celebration of 50 years of Horslips, which is filmed in 2022. That is marvellous. It's a bit like, on a different scale, me talking to Greg Hart and Stevie Bacon from the Cats. Similar thing. The two main guys from the Horslips talking about their entire career and what it's like looking back for the lens of time. And because of the way it's situated, the way the whole DVD flows, I found that fantastic. You've got lots of concerts on here. The sound quality is great. In concert from February 74, Ogre Whistle Test, Sounds of the 70s, John Peel Show, a couple of those in concert from 79, more stuff from Ireland, and of course probably the key one is CD number 3, which is Horslips and the Ulster Orchestra, which is literally 24 tracks on that CD. This is marvellous stuff. Some of you may have lots of Horslips stuff, and in which case this is an essential part of your collection. And if you're fairly new, maybe you bought that box set, again it is. Could you start here? Is one of the things I always try and think about. If you don't know much about them, maybe you've only got the Tain, or I'm trying to think of a couple of the other albums that I had on vinyl, because I'm that kind of fan that took a leap of faith into this. And one of the reasons why I did, especially with the larger set, is I'm a huge fan of Madfish box sets. I don't have them all. There were lots that people reach out to me and say, why aren't you doing this? Or why aren't you doing... I don't have them all. I didn't start getting them until I think it was my 60th birthday when I treated myself to the Wishbone Ash Vintage Years one. And I've spoken to Ian Crocker, who's part of the Madfish setup. And what comes across to the guys behind these sets is that this is all about physical media. This is a label that isn't thinking, well, you can also stream it. This is about a physical product and wanting you, the fan, to think, is it worth buying it? And yes, for some of them, they are quite pricey, but generally they are signed by the entire band. And for Horslips, sadly, one of the members has passed away, as I showed you in the unboxing section of this video. But all of that, there are still some of those big sets left, if you want to go and explore that a bit more. But the other thing, it's the fact that these sets are put together through the eyes of a fan. The people that write for Madfish, the people involved in the projects, and some of these projects take years to come to fruition. Years, all the clearance, getting everyone together. And so they do want to make sure that they include everything and they don't cut any corners. So I'm going to recommend this. It's a piece of archival rock, Celtic rock history. More people should know about this band. Why didn't I know so much about them? I knew about some of the albums because I remember being at school and people talking about them. But as I went through life, other things got in the way. Obviously, if you're from Ireland, this is a major band. But for me, from Brum at the time, I missed out on so much of their music. But this brings together some of their key highlights from their career. And I'm really, really enjoying it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe. That really does make a difference and helps me do what I do. I get 97,500 monthly viewers, but I'm just moving towards 25,000 subscribers, so there's a huge difference. So please subscribe if you can. And thanks to those of you who become patrons or YouTube members. You get 15% off all the merch. You can get an invite to our monthly virtual pub called the Now Spinning Arms, and also you get access to our private communities full of music nuts and enthusiasts on WhatsApp and Facebook. Remember, music is the healer and the doctor. Please take care, all of you. Keep spinning those discs, and I'll talk to you all very, very soon.